Hi, everybody. I'm Tiffany Craig. You probably recognize Mia Gradney down there. And in between us is Kiera Lanice Ray. She is a makeup artist, and she's amazing. You really are.
Thank you.
We brought her here tonight because we're doing a story at 10 o'clock about makeup dupes. That word has kind of been, I don't even know where it originally came from, but a lot of people don't necessarily know what that means. So let's just start there. What does that mean?
So a dupe is a substitute for a higher end product. So you have your mainstream brands, and then other companies will create a dupe, which is an affordable version of that mainstream product.
Okay.
And is that pretty widespread? You know, does it apply to skincare products, to makeup, to lipstick, to lip gloss, concealer?
Certainly. So I think that dupes are like the life hacks, if you will, of the cosmetic industry.
We actually have some samples or examples here of dupes, and I want to start with one. We're not going to give all of them away that we have in the story tonight, but I do want to point out a couple that you even said you liked, okay? Yes. And one is these eyeshadow palettes over here. Okay, so you grab the expensive one and I'll grab the cheap one. Okay, let's see if we can get that camera shot. So we're going to show it over here. Okay, wait, down, there we go. Okay, so what you're looking at here, the palette that Kiera has is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and it's $42. $42. It's beautiful. Yeah. What I'm holding on to is the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette, and you can get the same look for a huge price difference.
Certainly, the exact same look. I mean, the pigments are almost identical. The payoff is actually really, really close. So yeah, if you don't have $42 to dish out, by all means, go for the Wet n Wild.
You noticed that,
the only thing that looks any different, quite frankly, is the packaging.
The packaging.
And that's it. The eyeshadows look practically identical.
Yeah. I was really, really impressed by, number one, your technique on this whole situation, but also just how incredibly close the colors are.
Yeah.
And you really admitted that you liked this one.
I did. There were a few colors that I was really surprised at how much more pigmented they were even than the
And
Anastasia.
that's what I was going to ask about, because oftentimes I think when you buy some of the lower end brands when it comes to eyeshadow, it doesn't go on the same as it does some of the higher end, more popular brands. Do you find that to be the case with this one or not?
Not necessarily with this one in particular. I think that dupes in general have, leveled up, if you will. Especially Wet n Wild, even though they're an affordable brand, they have a name for themselves already. So all of their products are going to be pretty integral. They're going to have, pretty pigmented colors, and so I think that they can compete with anybody else at this point.
Pretty impressive.
We had a bit of an argument, so to speak, about this next one because it's the Beauty Blender. You guys know this, right? Okay, so here's the Beauty Blender sponge. It feels real nice. I think it's clean. It's clean. And the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge is the dupe for that one, and I like this one better.
Oh, you do you? Because
yes, I do.
Right
here it is in my makeup bag.
case.
I do. And again, the price difference, the Beauty Blender is $20, and this one is $6. I saw it some places a little bit cheaper, but $20 versus $6. Sell that one to me.
So
why do you like this one?
With the original Beauty Blender, I feel like there's nothing like it.
Okay.
It doesn't have any sharp edges, and so you can really buff into the skin any product, whether it's skincare, whether it's foundation, concealer. I like that it has this tip at the corner so that you can really get in between, those hard to reach areas within your eyes, and you just have this beautiful, flawless finish. And I don't want to bash your product because it's a great.
Or my product, because I use the same one as
They're
well
double
too.
teaming me.
That's right.
It's great, don't get me wrong. However, I find that it's a lot more difficult to blend out because you do have that soft edge, or the flat edge rather, that creates that line, and so you can see the difference. This is seamless.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say that we have two models that are in our story tonight, and we did like a split face test, right? And so all of the high-end stuff is on one side and the drugstore stuff is on the other. And one of my coworkers who's really good about seeing the expensive versus not expensive stuff, she knew right away, and she claimed it's because she saw She saw this imprint.
The blender.
I guess
You can
really
tell.
saw the imprint. Oh no.
she did.
She
She
see
did.
mine in that case.
Yeah. So I have no
or
idea.
yours for that matter, Tiff, since that's the one we use.
I don't know. Another product that women love to talk about and love to share is mascara. Okay. I have just started buying this one because I know this is a dupe for a lot of them. So it's
Yeah.
the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. And this one is $11. And so this one is comparable to what?
I would say the Lancome. Lancome has a, what is it? The Monsieur,
big Monsieur, yeah.
the big
The Monsieur
Monsieur.
Big, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that one is extremely comparable. The formula, the brush, even I would say the Too Faced, better than mascara. That's a good dupe for it as well.
Better than SEX. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I got
can you say that on TV?
I
can
guess
say
I don't
it,
think
Lisa.
it.
It's okay.
It's after hours.
Yes,
I think
it's
we're
better
okay.
than
So
Sex
the Better Than
mascara.
Sex by Too Faced and the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. So this is the dupe for that. And it's funny. Ever since we talked about this dupe, I suddenly see commercials for this stuff all the time. Have you
my
ever tried
goodness.
this one?
So I haven't, but I've heard from years from professional makeup artists, they always say, don't buy that expensive mascara. I've been told that for years. Don't buy the expensive stuff. There's great mascara that's drugstore brand, and I guess
Certainly.
this is a testament to that.
Certainly.
We do, in the story tonight, you'll notice that we do pretty much the whole face. But one of the things you were very clear about, and I really respect this, is you said, play with all the colors. Try all kinds of different brands, except when it comes to the things that go directly on your face first.
Certainly.
So talk about that.
So I always tell my clients, my models, invest in your skincare and your foundations and concealers. Those are the things that are going directly on the skin, and ultimately your makeup will only look as good as the skin underneath it. So you really want to make sure that you're taking care of it. You only have one face that people will remember you by,
Right.
So when it comes to blushes and lipsticks and mascaras, things like that, feel free to get the inexpensive stuff. But when it comes to the things applied directly to the skin, make that investment.
This isn't makeup, but it is skincare. And I noticed when I posted this one, I put it on actually all of my social media platforms. I got a lot of reaction to this one because of such a price difference that goes on with this. When I was looking up makeup dupes, I ran across this extremely luxurious, extremely expensive product. It might be a little bit hard for you to see, but it's the La Mer moisturizing cream. It is the very rich, very expensive moisturizing cream with something called Miracle Broth in it.
Is that listed on the ingredient list? No.
No, but it's written in here.
Miracle
the
Broth.
Miracle
That's
Broth.
their technology.
Okay. I know celebrities use this. I know it is big. It is very popular. It's also $180 per ounce.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
Let's get
That's
to
a
the dupe.
lot of
With
money.
that said, let's get to the dupe.
So the dupe for this one is actually something that you could pick up at Whole Foods. Even Target has it. It is the Weleda Skin Food. Okay. The texture of it is a little different, and if someone wants to try it, please.
Let me see.
Yes, I borrowed that jar from somebody. by
She's
the
like,
way.
I don't want
I
the
didn't
jar.
know
She's
if I was
okay.
allowed to
You're
try.
allowed
Why
to.
try
You're
the
allowed
jar
to.
when you know? Yeah.
Yeah. So it smells a little different and the texture is a little different, but even one of the editors of Glamour magazine said that she uses
The Weleda.
the Weleda day to day, and then for special occasions, she'll go with her expensive La Mer. So I'm like, well, I don't know. $12 is worth trying first.
Right.
Right?
Definitely.
I ran
$12
out this
versus
morning.
$180.
Yeah, I
You
ran
did?
out
You
this
got
morning
it?
because yesterday when you posted about the La Mer and then the dupe for it, I was like, oh, I've seen that on the store shelf before, and I wondered, oh, what's it about? I liked the fact that it was vegan, it was mostly all natural ingredients. The ingredient list wasn't miles long.
Right.
Things that I was familiar with and had heard about. So I bought 2 versions of this because they make a lighter version.
Yeah.
And I used the light version this morning on my skin. I didn't use a primer today. I just used the Weleda on my skin. And I worried because sometimes, when you put a moisturizer, it's like, oh, well, the makeup kind of move around on your face. But I guess it was light enough. And that's the thing. When I read online about it, everyone's like, just use a little. Right
Yeah, a
here.
little goes a
Because
long
little
way.
goes a long way. But in the store, I just put it on my hand like I did just now and did the whole, skin test. I was like, oh my gosh, this hand looks just youthful and glowing, and this hand, I'll just go ahead and hide it
Okay.
behind me.
I don't know. I'm becoming a fan of this before I even try it. Just when I hear all these stories about it, I'm like, okay, this sounds like something I'm interested in. I do want to mention another thing, and then we're going to do a little demonstration. Okay. Kylie Cosmetics. This is a very, very popular brand. Okay, Kylie Jenner. You probably know who she is. So she has this whole makeup line, and her lip kits are really, really popular.
Really popular. Certainly.
We were amazed by this one. So this is the color Kristen.
Correct.
Okay. And the dupe for this is ColourPop, and that's COLOUR pop. And the color is Bumble. And as soon as we get a tighter shot of this, you'll see it looks very similar from the outside. And when you put these colors on your lips, they look identical.
Certainly.
The price difference though, the lip kit from Kylie is $29 and this ColourPop lipstick is $7. So these are sister companies. These products are made in the same factory. Sure, there are probably some different ingredients in it, but when these things go on the lips, they look identical. They absolutely do.
Well, and the thing with lip gloss too, unlike, let's say, your foundation, because with me, I try and use as little foundation as possible, but you're reapplying lip gloss throughout the day. It goes fast, right?
It does.
So when you spend $29 and you're reapplying lip gloss a couple of times a day, that's quite the investment versus, the $7.99 you said, Tiff?
$7.
$7. Yeah.
So these ones are actually matte. So they're supposed to give long wear.
Okay.
Now, what I can say between the two, the ColourPop is actually a little more moisturizing. And so when we
that's right. We did
half the lip with the Kylie, half the lip with the ColourPop, and the model was like, "Oh my gosh! Like I feel like one half of my mouth is so dehydrated." But you could even see the texture difference.
Oh, I cannot wait to see tonight at 10 the difference on the model as well.
So I'm going to step out really quick and grab somebody to bring her over here, unless she's watching and she knows we need her now. So one of the things that women, and I even asked around, what is the one thing that you would like us to demonstrate? I thought it was eyeshadow application because that's my struggle bus at the moment, but apparently contouring is something that women are like, please just give me some tips. And here's the thing, we're going to use the Wet n Wild contour palette, and this bad boy is $5.50. Can you go wrong here? I don't think so.
Right.
It doesn't sound like it. Yeah.
And you love the challenge of this, right?
I do. I'm excited.
All right, so Deborah Patterson's over there. She's about to step in here, and we're going to let you do your thing.
Okay, let me grab a brush.
Yep. And do we want her to sit down? Or do you want her to stand? She's
either
right here.
or.
I think so. Here, I'll grab a stool.
Okay, so I'm holding this up just so you can see what we're working with here. And we're gonna set this up. Oh, let me get out of the way. Okay, so here we go.
It's funny because Tiff and I were in the makeup room. So Tiffany and I are makeup buddies, right? So every day we end up we're in the makeup room around the same time, and I'm telling her about the 10th concealer that I've bought in 1 month, and like, I think this is going to be the one. But when we were talking yesterday about what Kira was going to do with our model this evening during our Facebook Live, I was one of those people who suggested contouring because you hear so much about it, the difference it can make in your face. But it can go really wrong if you are clueless and have no idea what to do.
Certainly. I definitely agree. And that's one of the things that I hear most often from my clients. How do I contour? Where do I place it? I watch all these YouTube videos and their face looks different than mine, and it just goes wrong. So,
hey guys, are we in the right spot? With Deborah, we're in a good spot?
To the other side to do our makeup, you're gonna face that camera.
Oh, okay. So there. Okay, so this is gonna be a tighter shot so you can watch it in action and talk us through it. Okay. And remember, the product we're using, this is not expensive stuff. This is a dupe product, and it's the Wet n Wild contouring palette.
So I'm going to start by saying when it comes to contouring, your ultimate goal is to create symmetry when it comes to the face. And so when you're gonna chisel that jawline and even the cheekbone, you wanna start from the top of the ear going towards the mouth, right? She already has beautiful bone structure, but we just want to.
She really is.
So I'm going to actually apply the product starting at the top of the ear, but when I'm placing it, I don't want to apply it past the outside of the eye. Does that make sense? So really in here is where I'm going to apply the product.
Oh.
Now you can blend elsewhere, but as far as applying it.
And you only swiped once and then you tapped the compact with the brush,
Certainly.
right?
Anytime that you're using a powder product, you always want to make sure you tap off the excess, just because you don't want to create too much texture on the skin. You want to be able to build, because it's easier to build than it is to take away and erase.
Got it.
So
Tip
notice
number
as
1.
I'm applying this, I'm scooping upwards because we want to give the illusion that her cheekbone is lifted even higher than what it naturally is. So I'm just very lightly just going to push this up. And now I'm going to hit right in front of the ear and right on the jawline. And just for harmony, we want to go ahead and hit right in the hairline. Now this isn't necessarily, you don't have to do this, but I say do it simply because you want to make sure that as a whole, your makeup looks like, you know, it's in harmony. You want to make sure that
Well,
you're
make
adding
sure you
symmetry.
didn't miss a part.
Exactly. You don't want it to look
she
like
didn't finish her face.
Exactly. So even if you don't need to necessarily contour your forehead because you want to minimize it, let's say my forehead isn't that large, so I just apply the color just for the sake of harmony, not so much to actually change the shape of my forehead.
Sure, my forehead's large, so I would need that other bit. Yeah, yeah.
Well, for me, like I do my hairline as well too.
Okay.
With a bronzer. So just to kind of even it out, and like you said, add that color and the harmony and everything. Be nice and flawless.
Certainly.
You're making it look all so easy.
Have you ever used that Wet n Wild, before our test, have you ever used that Wet n Wild contouring palette?
I have not.
Do you like it?
It's not bad. I think for beginners, I think it's great. It's great because you can play around with it. You can actually get in the habit of learning how to contour, learning placement and things like that. But I personally like to contour with creams just because I like for my skin to be really dewy. I like it to have more of an airbrush finish as opposed to just doing powder.
You like skin to look like skin.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
So when you do cream, do you do the powder on top to set it, or?
It depends. Now, sometimes if I contour with a color that is more cool tone, then I'll go back in with a powder that's more warm to add more of a bronzing effect, just because your contour is going to be more cool and your bronzing is going to add warmth to the skin to add more dimension. So sometimes I will. Other times, you don't really need it. I think sometimes when it comes to YouTube, we get in the habit of watching these videos with 36 steps, and you really don't need all those steps. You can achieve the same look for less.
That's good to hear.
That's really good to hear, because you watch some of those videos and you're like, I give. Like you might have all the products, but then you're just at a loss on what to
It's
do.
overwhelming.
On what to
It
do.
really is, unless you have a guide
Right.
Okay.
or a
I agree.
professional makeup artist.
I try to simplify makeup as much as possible.
Yeah.
Just because even with myself, I care more about doing other people's makeup than my own. So I'm like, how can I use 5 to 6 products for my entire face? I don't want 50 steps. I will use my blush on my eyes. I'll use a liquid lipstick as an eyeshadow base, or, you know, just try to make things a little easier and multi-purpose, multifunctional.
Before we end this, I do want to ask, what are your favorites? Because I asked you about dupes in the story, but what are your favorite dupes? What are the things you like?
I personally love dupes for mascara. So, for instance, the L'Oreal, all of L'Oreal's mascaras are bomb. I mean, they compared to my Giorgio Armani mascaras, my I don't know, yeah, Lancome for sure. So my mascaras, I definitely enjoy a good dupe, even with lips, just because I find that I can, you know, modify them however I want, as well as lip liners. One of my recent favorites, the Morphe lip pencils, are absolutely phenomenal.
They're
really
not
creamy.
expensive either.
$4. And I'm late to the party, but Morphe's lip liners, and you can use them on your eyes as well. I just learned that too. So $4, they have, 50 plus colors, and yeah, those lip liners are bomb.
Can we talk about powder really quick?
Okay.
Because you do you use Laura Mercier? Is that what you use?
On which day?
On Thursdays?
So, I use mostly Laura Mercier or Bobbi Brown, so
Okay.
much more expensive. So kind of what you were saying earlier, the things that touch my face, I tend to buy, I would say the higher end brands for foundation and powder.
Certainly, certainly.
This Coty right here is a dupe for that Laura Mercier. This one, Yeah, did you not know that?
No,
You didn't know
not
that?
at all.
So I might have not gone right here with I got the extra coverage. I think I might have overdone it, but there's a regular translucent. This is supposedly, I mean, this is old school right here.
Old school, for
And
sure.
It
that's what
also
you have on right
smells
now?
a little old lady.
It does.
But if you can get past the smell, this is a good dupe for Laura Mercier. I've also never tried the Laura Mercier.
Okay.
Because again, that's about how much is that?
$48.
$48.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
believe. Don't quote me exactly on that.
You
but
have
I
a couple
believe
of other
it's
dupes though
$48.
for loose powder, don't you?
Yes. So one of my personal favorites are the Dermablend setting powder.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot live without it. I mean, I use it on everybody.
You're nodding. Do you know about that one? Okay.
The Dermablend is awesome, and I recently found there's a brand called RCMA. You can actually purchase it here in Houston at it's called the MUA Project, and the RCMA is called the No Color Powder. It's $10, and it comes in a huge. I mean, it looks like a garlic salt shaker, but it's huge and it's $10. And one thing when it comes to powders, especially with women of color, I find that we get flashback. And so when you think about it, what is talc, which is what most powders are made with, either talc or titanium dioxide.
Right.
Talc is a rock, and you have titanium, which is a metal. So when you get into the whole baking thing, that's a big phase. When you're packing that product on, you're literally creating a shield of rock or metal. And so when you take a picture under a flash, all of your secrets are told for
There
the
you
whole
go.
world to know. And
Right.
so I find that with the no color powder, no flashback. I mean, it melts seamlessly into the skin, and it's great. It's really great.
I think the tricky thing about powder too is that it can become cakey. For someone like myself with maturing skin, I feel like it'll settle in the lines. It's just a different effect. So you're looking for almost that airbrushed,
Certainly.
flawless finish with the powder. And
Certainly.
that can be challenging. But I'm interested to try this.
Yeah.
Again,
This
it's
is
not
old
bad.
school.
The smell I'm like, wow, it just reminds me
It
of.
does. It's
now
like
that you said
it's.
that.
I don't even want to say. It's just an older lady smell. We'll just say that. And the first time
Not
I
that
used
there's
it,
anything wrong with that.
no. But the first time I used it, I was like, it's like my grandma. Like it kind of smelled like my grandma a little bit.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm the old lady because I'm like, oh, it smells nice. It does. It smells really.
It definitely has a mature smell.
What's your smell? It's also. I know it's under $10. I can't remember
sure.
exactly.
I think
but
it's like
it
$6.
might be like
You
I
get it
think
at
it's
Walmart.
$6. Yeah, I think I got it at CVS or Walgreens. One
It has
or the other.
the powder puff
Yeah,
in
it does.
it.
I know. Okay, we are going to wrap this up. Anything final that you want to pass along to the people that are watching about even just makeup in general?
I would say there really are no rules in makeup other than blend like your life depends on it, and really take care of your skin. Skincare, I cannot stress how important that is, because again, your makeup will only look as good as the skin underneath it. So really making sure that you have a solid skincare routine so that when you do apply makeup, that is your foundation.
And obviously you practice that because your skin looks really good.
Oh, thank you.
Deborah, thank you so much for being our model in this situation. Kiara, thank you. You will be
Thank
on
you.
in our 10 o'clock story. And thank you for joining us too.
Of course,
we
you
have
know
so
I'm-
many conversations about
You
this
know, I'm
already.
going to come into the makeup room tomorrow
Right.
with all of
Right.
this and be like, what? I
Right.
went and got everything.
So tune in and watch our story at 10 o'clock. And thanks for watching us now. And what do you want? What do you want to try?
Oh, the lip gloss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Definitely.